Welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about what it means to be a yogi. I keep getting this comment by very well intentioned people. Some of them have become my students. And they keep saying, well, you don't look the part. And that threw me off initially. And then I kept listening to you, and what you had to say was so important that it washed all that out of my brain, right? But that initial response has been, but you don't look the part. You don't have the beard, you don't have the robe, you're not Indian, you're white. So all of these are the cover, right? And sometimes when we're embracing something new, we want that cover. We want it desperately, and we will cover ourselves with that covering to prove to ourselves that we are that thing. But eventually, something else happens. So let's get into it. So when you're trying to learn something, right, then you want to become it. And so you start wearing the clothes that everybody wears. You start wearing the yoga clothes, right? You start putting the Om symbols everywhere. And to be fair, I have, when I do initiations, I will wear, something like this. And I know it's got the Om on here somewhere. Anyway, I'll wear something like this, right? And that's just to signify that this is something very special. So that's what I do when I initiate people into Kriya Yoga. When they come and see me in person, then I try and remember to bring that. Sometimes I forget, but I try and remember to bring that along to signify that this is very special and I'm operating as a vessel for something higher. So I did it all. I became a monastic. I wore the robe, down to the tattoo. I had it all. So I had every symbol. You want to put on the Rudraksha beads, and you want to wear them on your wrists so everybody knows that you're doing something holy. And it's very, very understandable. And by all means, if you like the beads, go ahead and wear them. And if you like the yogic paraphernalia, then go ahead and wear it, of course. But all of these are the outer trappings. They're the outer signs of an internal path. And that internal path is the most important. And this is what Lahir Mashaya was always commenting on. He says, you don't have to go on a pilgrimage. You don't have to go to a temple. You don't have to do the puja, because it's an internal transformation. And the real meaning of all of those is the internal journey through the chakras into the higher brain waves, into the very low idle state. That's what it's all about. That's the real pilgrimage. It's an interior process. And when you do the heart rate variability resonance, you are doing that. You are going on a pilgrimage into your quiet self, into that low idle state. Become still and know. You are operating that law every time you get one of those four proofs and the hands become hot and heavy and you're sitting very still. You're sitting very quietly so you can hear that small, still voice inside. That's the reality. And eventually, what might happen, which is what happened to me, is all of that will soak into you and you will get it. And you will know that it's a part of you, whether you, no matter what situation you go through in your life, no matter what clothes you wear, it doesn't matter to you because you've already accomplished the internal pilgrimage and you don't care. You stop caring what people think about you in a good way. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be conscientious to those around us. It doesn't mean that we need to put on a show of humility. It just means that you stop worrying about it. It stops eating away at your mind, and you just throw it out. And so it's just not there. You just don't care. So all of yoga is so glorious and beautiful because it's all about this internal process. And nobody exemplified that and stated it more clearly and dynamically than Lahiri Mashaya. And that is why I love him so much, because it was so precise for him. He knew without a shadow of a doubt that all of the outward forms were for nothing, and he did not need them. And the only little signs that he gave were very small clues, which were intentioned for his students and for nobody else. If nobody else ever got it, well, it's a tragedy, isn't it? But he can only do so much, and he was very concentrated on the students that he had, and that was it. So those who have ears, let them hear, right? That was his attitude. So when you start to integrate that yogic life into yourself, the yogic path, which is you going into the holy place every single day, because you're going into the heart rate variability resonance, it's putting you into a low idle state. You are following the law of be still and know, and you will begin to know. You will begin, oh my God, I don't know what this is, but this is amazing. Somebody wrote me, he says, I don't know what this was, but this was amazing. This is the most amazing meditation I've ever had. And it was a samadhi. Those are the kind of things that begin to happen. Maybe it's not a samadhi, maybe it's just an absorption. Maybe it's just getting your hands hot and heavy. If you can do that every day, you are following this, and it will become a part of you. And so it doesn't matter what color your hair is. It doesn't matter what color your eyes are. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. We're all red underneath, right? You just stop caring about all of this garbage. You got to understand that there are people who are after your mind, okay? You've got commercials which are after your mind and your wallet, right? That makes sense. And rightfully so. Sometimes they've got a very good product and you're like, "Oh my God, I totally need that." And you go out and you get it, no problem. But they're after your mind, you see, and it's constant bombardment, like nothing we've ever seen before in our history. Never seen this level of bombardment. And then you go into the paper, right? And there's so much bombarding you. And then that's not enough. You go into the news, right? And there's so much bombarding you. So you've got political factors who are after your mind, right? They're after your consent and your mind. And they will vie for your attention, and they will take up residence in your brain, and you don't want it. You don't want it. So make your choices, whatever they are, but try and sit on the fence as much as you can. And that's very anti what they will tell you. They will tell you you have to pick and you have to choose and you have to this and you have to that. But they are taking up residence in your heart and in your mind. They're vying. They're battling for your attention. And that's not enough, okay? There are countries who are battling your country, and they are vying for your attention as well. They are vying for your mind, and they are using neocortical warfare against you on a daily basis, and they will take up residence in either political party that you might be in or you might be opposed to. They will take up residence in both of them, all right? So there was a clash between two political forces that happened, and they investigated how did this happen? How did they show up at the same place on the same day and have a fight? How did that happen? Well, they found out that it was set up by another country. They had pushed those two groups to meet at that time to create disruption in this country. All right? So this is happening all of the time. And you don't need to let it take up residence in your brain. In fact, you would be much better to sit on the fence and be a little bit independent of all of it. And don't let it eat you. Don't let it eat your brain. Don't let it eat your heart. So if there is a battle that you believe in, well, then you believe in it, don't you? But all of the best battles happen at home. Those are the ones that really make a difference in our life. So I can put on my car peace, love, and harmony, but if I do something for somebody else who's right in front of me, well, I've done something good. And I can know that I've done something good in my life. So all of the outward trappings are not the real story. All of the fight and all of the anger that we have towards this political party or that political party or this company or that company or this country or that country or this person or that person, it's all irrelevant usually to our lives. The real life that we are living is the one with the people who are right in front of us. That's the real life that we're living. And that's the yogic life. All right. The yogic life takes it one step farther. It's not about this right in front of me. It's about this. So not this way out there and not this right in front of me, but this right here. It takes it all the way home. And it becomes about the internal pilgrimage that we take every day when we do Kriya Yoga or we do heart rate variability resonance, when we sit very still and we get those 4 proofs. Now we've done something. We've done something worthwhile. And nobody needs to know. Maybe we'd like to tell everybody, but they won't always hear. So it's really about this one. It's not about the country or the people or the race or anybody else. It's about this guy, right? It's about you. It's about me. It's an internal, personal process. And that is what makes yoga glorious. So I hope you loved this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you next time.